They called it Operation Cinder Veil, a swift, surgical strike meant to remind humanity of its place. To the Karth Dominion, humans were a young race, clever, loud, and far too sentimental for their own good. And so, when the Karth High Council voted to make an example, they chose the human colony of Eidolon's Reach, a jewel of peace along the Orion trade line. At dawn, 20 Karth war cruisers entered orbit, their hulls gleaming black against the rising sun. The colony's planetary defense grid never stood a chance. In less than an hour, every human settlement on Eidolon's Reach was glassed. Oceans boiled, cities turned to vapor, and the air itself screamed as 10 million lives were erased in silence. As the Karth broadcast the spectacle across the galactic net, their speaker of war, a creature named Varric Thule, appeared before the Interstellar Council and spoke words that would echo through eternity. The humans are broken. Their flames have been doused. Let this serve as a reminder that emotion is weakness, and mercy is death. The Council nodded. Many species looked away, uncomfortable yet compliant. Others whispered that humanity would not risk open war. Not against the Karth, not after such devastation. They were wrong, horribly wrong. The mockery of the victors, the Karth celebrated for weeks. Across their empire, banners of obsidian silk fluttered in solar winds. They toasted with the liquefied remains of Eidolon's minerals, crafting jewelry from human ruins. In their arrogance, they even broadcast a parade through the galactic network. Warlords marching beneath holographic flames, chanting, "The fire of Earth is ash." Within the council chambers, representatives of other species expressed cautious concern. The humans, they said, might retaliate. The Karth laughed. Retaliate? Varric Thule spat the word like venom. With what? With their outdated cruisers? Their fragile alliances? The humans are builders, not destroyers. They will mourn. They will talk. And then they will fade. In hidden corners of the galaxy, human envoys were quietly dismissed. Trade deals suspended. Security pacts dissolved. The Council's official statement came 2 days later. Humanity's sovereignty remains intact, but we urge restraint. Further escalation would serve no one. To the galaxy, it was a declaration of defeat. To humanity, it was the sound of something breaking. The silence before the storm Earth went quiet. No transmissions, no diplomatic responses, no trade movement. Human space, once filled with chatter and commerce, became a void of stillness. Probes sent near Sol vanished without a trace. Scouts reported empty stations, derelict outposts, and cold beacons whispering the same encoded phrase, 40 days. No one knew what it meant. The Karth mocked it on the networks. Memes circulated across their data feeds, humans holding candles, counting days, mourning their lost colony. They called it the 40 Days of Grief. But inside that silence, humanity was moving. Old fleets, mothballed since the days of the Martian Wars, were reactivated. Shipyards that once built explorers now forged warships under codenames never meant for public hearing. Project Leviathan, Black Dawn, Erebus Directive. On the 39th day, the Karth began noticing strange readings. Minor outposts along the Orion corridor lost contact. Patrol craft disappeared mid-transmission. A captured audio fragment from one of the last scouts carried only a single human voice. "We are coming." The day the stars trembled. On the 40th day, Sol burned brighter. The UNSC Vanguard fleet departed Earth orbit in absolute silence. 600 capital ships, 9 dreadnoughts, and something new. Something massive. Each vessel bore no insignia, no broadcast codes, only the darkened emblem of a burning hand. By the time the Karth realized what was happening, their frontier worlds were already gone. The human fleet struck with mathematical precision. No warning, no demands. Orbital defenses were vaporized, communication relays dismantled before a distress signal could escape. Entire planets vanished from the grid, replaced by expanding fields of molten glass. The Karth responded with all their might, deploying their Eclipse Armada, 2,000 ships strong. They met the human fleet in the Karthus Nebula. For 5 hours, the nebula burned. Human ships moved in perfect formation, their rail cannons cutting through Karth shields as if they were paper. Karth plasma torpedoes evaporated before reaching human hulls. intercepted by invisible defense grids powered by technologies no one had ever seen before. When the Karth flagship Sovereign's Pride attempted to flee, 3 human dreadnoughts warped directly into its escape vector. Their combined fire split the ship in half. Survivors spoke of seeing something impossible, a single human ship deploying orbital singularity weapons, bending space like molten metal. The battle ended not with victory, but with silence. The nebula, once vibrant with ion storms, became a graveyard of frozen wreckage, metallic corpses drifting in eternal night. The humans left a single message beacon behind. It played one sentence: Eidolon's reach avenged, the debt remains unpaid, retribution unleashed. What followed was not war. It was extermination. Humanity didn't march on the Karth homeworld. They descended. Their fleet entered the Karth system under blackout, bypassing every line of defense as though the laws of physics no longer applied. Planetary sensors detected them only when they were already above orbit. The Karth High Council, in session, looked up at their skies through the translucent dome of their capital citadel and saw the impossible. The human dreadnought Sul's wrath eclipsed their sun. Its shadow fell over the capital like judgment incarnate. Without a single word, the ship opened fire. The first volley wasn't aimed at military targets. It struck the council tower directly, turning it into a plume of molten crystal. Across the planet, orbital strikes carved geometric scars into the continents, a message visible from orbit: never again. The Karth fleet tried to mount resistance, but every move they made was already anticipated. Human AI warfare systems, once banned under council law, guided their missiles with inhuman precision. Every ship that fired upon a human vessel was erased within seconds. No quarter was given. No mercy offered. Within 24 hours, the Karth Dominion ceased to exist as a political entity. Their archives were purged, their communications networks flooded with static. The few who survived evacuation found themselves hunted, not by soldiers, but by silence. The collapse of the Council, the Interstellar Council, convened an emergency session. Representatives from dozens of species argued, panicked, begged for order. The Council speaker, a dignified Thalan named Oris Ka, tried to open a line to Earth. None came. Instead, their station's main holofeed flickered to life. A human admiral, unnamed, expression unreadable, appeared against a black background. "You watched Eidolon burn," he said. "You voted for our restraint. You called it peace. You mistook our silence for surrender." He leaned forward, eyes cold as starlight. The Council declared humanity defeated, and in doing so, declared its own end. Every Council beacon went dark. Every relay hub linking them to Sol was cut. And then, without fanfare, humanity vanished again, retreating into their sector, sealing it behind walls of quantum interference that no one could penetrate. The Council dissolved within the year. No one dared rebuild it. Whispers among the ashes. Decades later, scavengers found fragments of Karth ruins drifting through the void. Burned worlds, shattered moons, ghost cities where shadows still lingered. In one such ruin, etched into the hull of a derelict human ship, they found words carved by hand. "Mercy is for the innocent. Remember Eidolon." To this day, no one has approached human space. Even their closest borders are avoided by trade convoys. Pilots say the stars near Sol watch you back. They say transmissions sometimes leak from the void, soft, cold voices counting, as if waiting for something. When asked about Earth, most species change the subject. Some claim humanity turned inward, becoming something greater. Others whisper that they never stopped preparing, that beneath the calm surface of their silence, the war machine still breathes. One council historian, before taking his own life, left behind a final note: "They do not roar in anger. They whisper in grief. And when they rise, even suns go dim." The lesson of Fire Humanity's vengeance was not chaos. It was justice refined to a blade. They did not seek conquest nor expansion. They sought remembrance. Every act of violence, every orbital strike, every burning city, all of it written as testament, the price of arrogance. In the centuries that followed, the phrase 40 days became legend, a curse whispered by soldiers before battle, a reminder of the wrath that sleeps beneath the surface of civilization. And in every galactic academy, when young diplomats are taught the history of peace and war, The final lesson is always the same. Do not mistake humanity's silence for submission, their calm for weakness, their mercy for fear. Because the last time the galaxy made that mistake, it ended with a council in ruins, a species erased, and the words that ended an era written in fire. The council declared our defeat and declared their own end.